just going to have a quick look through some classic DVDs. Which I have from over the years. And have enjoyed watching very much. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 films and 1 TV series. So we'll take a look at the top one first. Which I think many people will know. The Adventures of Indiana Jones. The complete DVD movie collection. I have lost count how many times I have seen these films. Anytime they are on television, when I turn over, I will watch it. Classic adventures. So you have the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then the Temple of Doom, and finally the Last Crusade, and also a bonus material. I'm not sure if I have a favourite, but if I had to choose, I would say The Last Crusade was my favourite. I think the tag team of Harrison Ford and Sean Connery was quite magical and brought a lot of comedic value to the film. Raiders of the Lost Ark, with his infamous whip. And we see in the first film where he gets his hat from as a young boy. Join the legendary hero Indiana Jones in one of the greatest scene adventures of all time, now on DVD. Accompanied by his feisty Essex, Flame Marion Ravenwood. The two-fisted archaeologist embarks on a thrilling quest to locate the mystical Ark of the Covenant. Indy must discover the Ark before the Nazis do, and he has to survive poison traps, snakes, and treachery to do so. Explore the darkest jungles of South America, the bustling marketplaces of Cairo, and a top-secret submarine base with Indiana Jones as your guide to adventure. And finally witness the power of the Lost Ark unleashed as Indy stays one step ahead of the Nazis in this classic treasure on DVD. And then we have the second Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So this one was definitely a bit darker. Involving voodoo. Indiana Jones brings his darkest and most chilling adventure to DVD like never before. After barely escaping a raging Shanghai nightclub brawl, Indy crash lands into the wilds of India, where he uncovers a sinister scheme that has enslaved a remote village, children in a fortress-like mine. Indy must save the children and avoid becoming a slave himself to the evil thuggy cult. Along for the raucous rescue attempt is Indy's bite-sized sidekick, Short Round, as well as a reluctant nightclub songbird, Willie Scott. Join Indy as he outwits bloodthirsty villains and experiences the spectacular twists and turns of a thrilling minecart chase in the ultimate roller coaster adventure. I remember this minecart chase was copied quite a lot in arcades. In amusement parks, where you could sit in an actual minecart. It was definitely a lot darker of a theme compared to 1 and 3. Okay. And The Last Crusade. I really loved the last scene where the theme music kicks in and they ride off into the sunset. And his friend ripoff. Relive the fun and excitement of keeping up with the Joneses in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. In a prologue that reveals a young Indiana Jones in one of his first adventures, this thrilling screen epic continues as an adult Indy embarks on a perilous quest for his cantankerous father, Professor Henry Jones, Sr. The Nazis are on the trail of the Holy Grail and have kidnapped Indy's father, the foremost authority on the cup of Christ. Follow Indy as he inches through the rat-filled catacombs of Venice. Battles Nazi flying aces in a thrilling biplane dogfight, and braves the thunderous firepower of an unstoppable tank. And behold the Holy Grail's power to give and take life, as Indy and his father race against time in this timeless classic. It really did have non-stop action in this final escapade. And the bonus materials. It includes over 3 hours of all new documentaries that were created exclusively for this DVD collection. It has behind the scenes footage in a making of documentary. Our next classic is a little bit niche. It's a UK kind of sci-fi fantasy series called Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, the complete series. And we have Garth Marenghi here on the front. When the health mouth opens beneath Darkplace Hospital in downtown Romford, Kitty Doctor, Vietnam veteran and ex-warlock Dr. Rick Douglas is the only man who can close it. Joined by best buddy Dr. Lucien Sanchez, fiery hospital boss Thornton Reed, and woman Liz Asher, Douglas must fight the forces of darkness while dealing with the burden this series was that the acting was intentionally very bad. And the special effects were also terrible, but in the very best way. It was a really funny series to watch, and it didn't take itself too seriously. If you like quirky sci-fi and fantasy, I would recommend giving it a try. Another classic that I have lost count how many times I've watched is Strictly Ballroom. I enjoy everything about this film. The costumes, the soundtrack, the acting, the comedy. I think it covers just about everything in one film. So this was by the director of Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann, one of his earlier films from 1992. It's a wonderfully kitsch and amusing tale of repression and dreams, all set in the super tanned and garish world of Australian ballroom dancing. Scott Hastings, who was the gentleman on the front cover with no shirt on, is a talented ballroom dancing champion who longs to dance his own steps. This results in being dumped by his partner and chastened by all those around him, except two people. One is Fran, the ugly duckling of the school who persuades him to let her dance with him and eventually steals his heart. The other is his father, a quiet man dominated by his bejeweled wife. Scott knows in his heart he must follow his dreams, but some are determined to see him fail. The film climaxes at the Australian Championship in a superbly choreographed and heartwarming finale. Even though I have watched this countless times, I still find it amusing, and it still makes me want to dance. The next DVD is Napoleon Dynamite. I don't think I saw this film when it was very first out, but I caught it maybe on television not long after. so still quite a few years ago. This came out in 2004. And I knew straight away that it was my cup of tea. It's a slightly different style of film, and I find it's one you will either get or you won't. Some of the humour is quite subtle, but we have Napoleon Dynamite here on the front. And this is a 2-disc special edition, so it has lots of extras. I'll just take the cover off. So it says on the back, "Meet the pride of Idaho, the man with no plan, a nerd undeterred. He's Napoleon Dynamite, and thanks to his special skills and new friends, Pedro and Deb, life at Preston High School will never be the same." Now if only he can survive life at home with his idiot brother Kip and scheming Uncle Rico. Are you ready to get your groove on? So we have vote for Pedro. And there are quite a few badges on here. Now Napoleon does a quite epic dance whilst helping Pedro. I think it was to become class president. I really enjoyed this film. And last but not least, we have The Lost Boys. Now this came out in the 80s, I think 1987. I enjoyed everything about this film. I enjoyed the location where it's set and the soundtrack and all of the actors did a great job. Even now, I find the effects of the vampires quite scary. Sleep all day, party all night. It's fun to be a vampire. Or is it? I think this chap would disagree, and his brother also. I think they come to discover it is not fun. So yeah, we have Kiefer Sutherland on the back, looking just a little bit scary. So that's just a few DVDs of classic films I will rewatch over and over again. And if they show up on TV while I'm channel hopping, I will usually stop and watch it wherever it happens to be in the film, or even if I put it on in the background. They're definitely rewatchable. Thank you for watching.